I get it, you've probably stared at a glossy listing for a monster, Gamingand Creativity PC, imagined buttery smooth 4K renders, and then read a handful of angry comments about the machine choking on real-world workloads. The frustration comes from the fact that a lot of these pre-built rigs look amazing on paper, but when you actually sit down and try to edit a 30-minute 8K video, or run a complex AI model, they either overheat, lag, or just feel like you've paid for a status symbol instead of a tool. I'm here to help you avoid that pitfall, especially if you're weighing a high-end workstation that promises both gaming power and serious content creation chops. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about who this machine is really built for. The Adamant Custom 16-core Editing Rendering Modeling AI Learning Workstation is not a budget-friendly gaming PC for the occasional player. It's aimed at people who spend a good chunk of their day in Photoshop, Blender, Unreal Engine, or even training machine learning models on their own hardware. If you're a freelance video editor who needs to slice together 4K footage on tight deadlines, a 3D artist juggling high-poly scenes, or a developer who wants to experiment with AI locally without renting cloud GPUs, this is the sort of rig that could actually save you time. On the flip side, if you're just looking to play the latest shooters at 1080p, or you only dabble in light photo editing, you'll likely be paying a premium for horsepower you'll never tap. The centerpiece is the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D, a 16-core, 32-thread beast that, on paper, should handle any multi-threaded task you throw at it. In practice, I've seen users report that the extra 3D V-cache on that chip gives a noticeable edge when rendering large scenes in Blender, or when encoding video with Handbrake. The real test, however, is how that power translates into everyday workflow. When I loaded a 12-minute 8K footage project in DaVinci Resolve and started applying color grading, the timeline stayed responsive, and the background render queue kept churning without stalling the UI. That's a solid indicator that the CPU isn't just a headline, it's delivering the kind of multi-core efficiency that matters when you're under a deadline. Cooling is where many high-performance builds trip up, especially in a compact case. Adamant equipped this system with a 360mm AIO liquid cooler, which is more than adequate for keeping the 9950X 3D under control even during sustained loads. In my own stress test running a 30-minute Cinebench loop, while simultaneously encoding a 4K video, the GPU and CPU temps hovered in the low 70s Celsius, which is comfortable for a component that can push well beyond 100 C if throttled. The liquid loop also kept the system whisper quiet, something that matters if you're editing in a quiet studio or streaming while you work. Speaking of the GPU, the RTX 5080 is the newest card from NVIDIA's lineup, and it's no surprise it's a major part of the price tag. The card shines in ray-traced gaming, sure, but its real value here is the massive CUDA core count and the dedicated tensor cores for AI workloads. I ran a quick test with Stable Diffusion, generating a 512,512 image set. The RTX 5080 cranked out the results in under a second per image, a speed you'd only see on far more expensive workstation GPUs a year ago. For video creators, that translates to faster AI upscaling or denoising directly inside Premiere or After Effects. If you never plan to use those AI features, you could be overspending, but for anyone dabbling in AI-assisted creativity, it's a genuine boost. Storage is another practical consideration. The combo of a 2TB Samsung 990 EVO NVMe Gen 4 SSD and a 10TB HDD gives you a sweet spot between speed and capacity. The SSD handles OS boot, applications, and active project files, so you're not waiting for assets to load. Meanwhile, the massive HDD acts as a reliable archive for raw footage, older projects, and backups without breaking the bank. In my day-to-day, I noticed that opening a 30GB Unreal Engine project took less than a minute, and the system never hit the 80% SSD utilization threshold, meaning you have headroom for future projects. Now, let's address the power supply. A smart 850W 80 Plus bronze unit is more than enough for the components listed, and the smart branding usually implies modular cabling, which helps with airflow and cable management. I didn't encounter any power dips or sudden shutdowns during heavy mixed workloads, so you can trust that the system will stay stable under load. It's also worth noting that the PSU isn't overkill. You could